Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of A Piece of New York. Today we find ourselves on the Upper East Side coming to a New York City institution, Pastrami Queen. Now this place has actually been open since the 1950s, originally opening in Williamsburg, and back then it was known as Pastrami King. And then when they closed their doors in Williamsburg, they moved to Kew Gardens, Queens, where they were there for 37 years. And during that time, it was actually a place where political figures from New York City would travel. Rudy Giuliani had sandwiches there, judges would eat there, borough presidents would go there as well. And then in the late 1990s, they ended up losing that location and came here to Manhattan. Now, I'm not sure if they actually meant to pay tribute by changing it from Pastrami King to Pastrami Queens to pay homage to their original location in Queens because they were such an institution there for so long. But here we are on the Upper East Side, getting ready to have some of their pastrami. And they're known for a number of things, actually. Top knishes in the city, top pastrami in the city, top deli in the city, diner in the city. If you look online, they have a tremendous reputation. So let's go inside, check it out, see what they're all about. Alrighty, first impression. So, I do have to say this. When you walk in and you see the food on other people's tables, it looks fantastic. Just over the top, huge, massive sandwiches. Really excited to sink my teeth in them. They're also paying homage to some of the older New York delis across the city. We have pictures of Katz Deli. We have pictures of Shapiro's, Wolfie's. So they really are kind of embracing the deli diner, tradition that we have here in New York City. I will say this, the quarters here are very tight. It is super cramped. And then on top of that, not sure this is the most sanitary thing. They definitely had some of their plastic bags next to their cuts of meat. So that was a little bit interesting, but aside from that, I mean, the way the food looks, excited to sink my teeth into it and can't wait to try some of this famous pastrami that they have. All right, folks, could not be more excited for this. Look at this. You got the pastrami, comes fully loaded, the charred ends, absolutely delicious. I'm gonna throw some mustard on that as well here in a minute. So they say the move here to do is get it hand cut. Obviously, at this deli, they got the machine to slice it real thin, but when you order it hand cut, they have fatter chunks of pastrami for you that the people are saying comes out more juicy, succulent. So I was just doing what they were telling me to do. Here we go. Try to compact all this in together. The meat is just pouring out of this sandwich. Cheers. They were not kidding. That pastrami has some full body flavor. Just as soon as you take a bite into it, the juice comes shooting out of the meat. It's extremely salty on top of that, and then just it had a rich flavor as well. I threw on the mustard as well to give it like a nice tang or enhance the other flavors and just give it an extra spice to it, which I did like. The charred ends have a nice crunchiness to it. The tenderness, once you get past that charred end, I mean, all in all, this is a tremendous flavor for this sandwich. The rye bread also has a nice earthy flavor to it as well. Yeah, I mean, Pastrami Queen, way to go, knocked it out of the park. I understand why you're pastrami royalty here in the city. Now, if you remember at our episode that we did at City Field, where we had some of the best pastrami that I've ever had, you can check that episode out right here. Very comparable. From what I remember, that was some of the top-notch best pastrami I've ever had. I know I was just saying royalty here with Pastrami Queen, and this is a very delicious sandwich. Price-wise, believe it or not, you're paying multi-million-dollar athletes all that money, and the sandwich was cheaper in City Field than it is here. That's one of the things, or one of the gripes I do have about this place. Yes, you are getting an over-the-top sandwich. Yes, it's going to be loaded with meat, but you're paying over $20, $25 for a sandwich, and at that point, it's kind of like, I just need to go to the grocery store and just get all these ingredients myself. That way I can make 10 sandwiches. But all in all, I did enjoy this sandwich. I love it. if I ever have $25 to spare and I'm in the mood for a really nice, salty, succulent sandwich, I come to Pastrami Queen. Well, folks, that concludes our day here on the Upper East Side. And I have to say, this New York City institution, it was quite the experience. Loved the pastrami sandwich. It was huge. It was juicy, succulent, amazing meat. Definitely enjoyed it. Make sure you get that hand-cut pastrami, not the machine-cut pastrami. That way you get thicker pieces of meat in that sandwich. The downside of it, I will say, it was cramped in there. It was very tight. The space was, everyone was eating on top of each other. And on top of that, the price, a little bit high. Sitting there, having a pastrami sandwich, and then after you leave tip and everything, it's gonna cost $30 for one sandwich, no sides, no drinks, nothing. So that's a bit much, but I will say, it is a New York experience, right? This place has been around since the 1950s, so they've definitely withstood the test of time for a reason. And from everyone over here at A Piece of New York, we just want to say thank you so much for the views. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you like the content, give us a subscribe. And we'll see you later on this week. Hope you have a great week. Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.